top U.S. universities have now come under fire for their soft stand on terror. The presidents of Harvard University, the University of Pennsylvania, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology have testified on Capitol Hill about increasing concerns of anti-Semitism on their campuses. The questioning came on the back of rising hate crimes fueled by the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict being reported on campuses, and what has triggered outrage is their refusal to act against the genocide, call viewers. So what we see right now is the top update coming on Republic TV, where we can tell you is that the three top U.S. universities have come under fire for taking a very soft stand on terror. Now we're talking about Harvard University, University of Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They all have testified on Capitol Hill about increasing concerns of anti-Semitism on their campuses, viewers. Top update coming on Republic TV. Now, as we keep getting you more updates, let's tell you that that heads of three varsities are deposing before a panel for the soft stand on terror, viewers. Top updates coming here, and remember that these two universities are extremely popular universities, the top of the top universities, the cream of the cream universities, but all three top universities are in the dock. Let's go ahead, viewers, and play out the reactions.
At MIT, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate MIT's code of conduct or rules regarding bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
If targeted at individuals, not making public statements.
Yes or no? Calling for the genocide of Jews does not constitute bullying and harassment?
I have not heard calling for the genocide for Jews on our campus.
But you've heard chants for intifada.
I've heard chants, which can be anti-Semitic depending on the context, when calling for the elimination of the Jewish people.
So those would not be according to the MIT's code of conduct or rules?
That would be investigated as harassment if pervasive and severe.
Ms. McGill, at PENN, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate PENN's rules or code of conduct? Yes or no?
If the speech turns into conduct, it can be harassment, yes.
I am asking specifically calling for the genocide of Jews. Does that constitute bullying or harassment?
If it is directed and severe or pervasive, it is harassment.
So the answer is yes.
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
It's a context-dependent decision. That's your testimony today. Calling for the genocide of Jews is depending upon the context. That is not bullying or harassment. This is the easiest question to answer yes, Ms. McGill. So is your testimony that you will not answer yes?
If the
yes or no?
If the speech becomes conduct, it can be harassment, yes.
Conduct meaning committing the act of genocide? The speech is not harassment? This is unacceptable, Ms. McGill. I'm going to give you one more opportunity for the world to see your answer. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate PENN's code of conduct when it comes to bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be harassment.
The answer is yes. And Dr. Gay, at Harvard, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be, depending on the context.
What's the context?
Targeted as an individual, at an individual.
It's targeted at Jewish students, Jewish individuals. Do you understand your testimony is dehumanizing them? Do you understand that dehumanization is part of anti-Semitism? I will ask you one more time. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric.
And is it anti-Semitic rhetoric?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric, when it crosses into conduct that amounts to bullying, harassment, intimidation, that is actionable conduct, and we do take action.
So the answer is yes, that calling for the genocide of Jews violates Harvard Code of Conduct, correct?
Again, it depends on the context.
It does not depend on the context. The answer is yes, and this is why you should resign. These are unacceptable answers across the board.
Okay, let's go straight to Abhishek Kapoor, our senior executive editor, is joining us. Abhishek, we saw that very tough grilling. What we see right now is that Harvard's president has been grilled about the anti-Semitism in the campus, and she was asked very directly that what is she doing to combat it to a panel. But take us through exactly what happened. We could see that the members of the Congress were extremely angry and they were really grilling her with very pointed questions. She was having a tough time answering them back.
Well, yes, so this story has started trending after CEO of Pershing Square, which is a corporate group in the United States based out of New York, Bill Ackman. He tweeted that the presidents of these three organizations, when they were asked in a U.S. Congress testimony about whether some of the slogans that have taken place on their respective campuses amount to harassment and call for genocide and hence anti-Semitism, all these representatives of Harvard, MIT, and University of PENN refused to acknowledge that and said that there has to be a context, and so they were seen to be equivocating. So, in effect, this is symptomatic of the larger picture that has emerged really of American campuses over the last month and a half since October 7 Hamas attack, where these universities seem to be acting as sort of progressive pressure cookers, and you are seeing student communities on these campuses taking woke positions and to a level where they are not willing to acknowledge that what was carried out by Hamas on October 7 was an act of terrorism. So I think this is in continuation with that. What in fact it shows is that students are not to be wronged. In fact, it's their faculty, their professors, and the administrations and managements of these campuses as it comes out of this grilling that the U.S. Congress members have had of these top Liz McGill, for example. You were hearing of the University of PENN, I think, and this is essentially something we have seen panning out over the last month and a half, Shivangi, where campuses across the United States and much of West, in fact, have been indulging in giving an acceptable hue to Hamas and its terror network, and sort of standing with the Palestinian slogan of "From river to the sea, Palestine would be free," without realizing that what this slogan means is that Israel cannot exist, because that's exactly the territory where the nation of Israel and the government of Israel and the people of Israel live in the present. So if you say that in the same place there has to be only Palestine, obviously, then Israel has to go. So I think this really nails the issue, because it is the managements which provide a very nurturing, caring and atmosphere in which that ideology persists, and the students are not to be found at fault. In fact, it's their managements that are allowing them to be having that ideology. So maybe it's a matter of indoctrination, maybe it's a matter of careful cultivation of this thought, where you are in being absolutely pro-freedom of expression, not realizing that you are actually justifying or contextualizing terrorism in many ways. So I think this is a debate which has really panned out across the campuses and outside the campuses into the governments, and now it's taken a very global public forum with the kind of questioning that was done and the kind of answers that we have got. Shocking to say the least, the manner in which these managements continue to defend the sloganeering that took place, maybe in the name of freedom of expression, maybe in the name of creative freedoms that students should be given. But it seems that even the managements are fully complicit in condoning this humanizing of terror, in condoning or mainstreaming this very radical ideology, which under the influence of which we have seen many of the Jewish students on these campuses being attacked. So I think this is not the end of this debate we have seen. In fact, this really brings out in stark contrast the indulgence with the radicalism that has taken place. I think, and this has gone on for a few years, to be coming out so strongly now with the trigger provided by Hamas. This atmosphere of tolerance, or atmosphere of condoning of extremism and radicalism, even terrorism, and to a level where these university managements are saying that this could be called harassment only if there was a context.
Right. Thank you so much, Abhishek Kapoor, our senior executive editor, putting the entire story in perspective. The Harvard president took the hot seat. She was grilled by lawmakers over her administration's response to the Israel-Hamas war, and her testimony was before the House Committee on Education and the Workforce. Taking a very short break. The BJP hits out at DMK in an unrelenting attack, slams opposition's tukade mentality. Plus, from Jaipur to Udaipur, mega showdown in Rajasthan over the murder of Karni Sena chief.